Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Pop Go the Writers. Yeah, I'm changing it up a little bit. Trying to figure out where the pop should go.
Uh-huh.
I think it should go Pop Go the Writers, but
The pop should go in my belly because I'm addicted to pop. Oh, that kind of pop. Okay.
I have stopped drinking soda. I'm a Dr. Pepper fiend,
Mm,
and just had to start getting some weight off with everything
yeah,
going on.
I
So
hear
I
you.
uh, I cut cold turkey, and it's
I'm
been rough.
addicted to Mountain Dew, so I'm like addicted to the worst pop you can drink. Well, what
No,
I've done is I restrain myself and I'm only allowed to drink it on my days off. I have 2 days off a week from my job, and those are the only days. But unfortunately, I'm on vacation, and it was 6 days, so I can have it for 6 days through tomorrow.
there you go. See,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So last night I was crocheting and was looking for something to watch that I wouldn't have to focus on, where I could just kind of look at my work and listen.
Yeah.
And I came across there was a documentary released on the music of James Bond, and
Mm.
then an hour performance of I believe the British Philharmonic performing the majority of the songs.
Wow.
So that's all on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
So I watched those, and one of the stories came out that I really thought was neat is that so
Hmm.
Michael Caine used to share a flat with Terrence Stamp, and if you don't know who Terrence Stamp is, kneel before Zod.
You
Yeah,
will bow down before me, Jor-El.
yep, he was the original Zod in the Superman movie. He's done a lot of stuff. He's a great actor,
Yeah.
and these two are close friends. But something happened. I don't know if Terrence got upset by it or if the neighbors got upset by it. But it seems that Mr. Kane was bringing home too many female acquaintances.
To put it lightly.
Yes, and was asked to find other lodging. So,
Oh
and there was,
no.
and he found a new place, but it'd be 2 weeks between when he had to move out and when he could move into the new place. So he called up a very good friend of his, John Barry. And John Barry is a award-winning composer and is known for, you know, being. He doesn't get credit for creating the James Bond theme, but he kind of put it together based
Mhm,
off of a little riff,
mhm.
and does most of the music for the early James Bond stuff. And so John Barry's like, yeah, come on down. You can stay here for the 2 weeks, no problem. And you have to know that Michael Caine and John Barry are really good friends. There's a movie, I don't remember which one it was, but they literally got Michael Caine to agree to be in the movie because they said, "Well, we're going to put you in a condo on the beach where you'll be between Roger Moore and John Barry." And he's like, "I'm in. Those are two of my best friends."
Great.
But that's why
Perfect.
he did the movie. Yeah. Well, he gets over there and he gets set up for the night and he lays down. And about an hour or two after he's trying to go to sleep, suddenly John starts playing the piano
Hmm.
and he plays the entire night
Hmm.
into the next morning. So when Michael gets up, he walks out. He's like, I don't know if I can stay here because if you're going to play all night long, he goes, no, no, no. I just had to finish this one. I needed this one song. He goes, well, did you finish? He goes, yeah, yeah. You want to hear it? He's like, sure.
Even though you heard it all night, bro.
Yeah. So Michael Caine is the first person to ever have heard the theme for Goldfinger.
Wow.
He wrote, so the night Michael Caine went to go stay at his house, John Barry wrote Goldfinger in the middle of the night.
Wow. What a story.
Yep.
Hmm.
So that was neat because they told that on that show and
Yeah.
it was Michael Caine telling the story.
Yeah.
He didn't say
That's a
who
good one.
asked him to move out of Terrence Stamp's house. So, uh,
That's a great story.
yeah, I love behind the scenes stuff like that. I get hooked on
Yeah.
those kind of things.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead. Well, first thing, you had a weekend in New York.
Yeah. I literally just walked in the house from a trip to New York, more specifically, a trip to the New York Comic Con.
Mm-hmm. Where you got to meet Sven Gulli.
I certainly did. That was one of my goals. That was really my main goal. I went up to he was at the Me TV booth, and I made my way over there on Friday, and I really didn't look and see when he was supposed to be there. And I walk up, and appearing at the booth was not Sven Gulli, but Sven Tooney, the fish puppet that poses as Sven Gulli, and the guy that's with him. I can't think of the name of the character. He's supposed to be like a dead corpse or something or whatever. But so they were there. So I asked that I see a sign and it says that Sven is going to be appearing in about an hour. And I asked the people at the booth, are you gonna, start a line somewhere? And they're like, no, we're not. Well, hold on a second. And the guy goes and talks to somebody else, and he comes back and he goes, actually, yeah, we can start a line. He goes, if you want to start the line, then stand right here. And it was like 1 hour. And I said, yeah, I guess I'll do that. I guess I'll do that. So I stood there for an hour. But within a minute of me standing there, this huge line forms behind me. And I mean huge. And so I actually was in the catbird seat because I started the line and I was the first one up to him, and it all went really well, and I got a signed picture, and it was all free. That was the really nice thing. They provided the nice photo, and he wasn't charging to sign anything or anything like that at all. And you could actually say a few things to him. Real nice guy. And then I step away, and here there's a guy that comes up to me, and he's Sven's producer, and that guy grew up in a town right next to my hometown. So we started talking about Northwest Ohio. It was a good experience altogether.
Excellent. I'm glad.
Yeah.
And you got home and found a package for yourself, right?
I did indeed. This was delivered while I was gone. My own physical copies of the new book, Rising Sun Rerun. So this is interesting. Like just a few minutes ago was the very first time that I saw the book in its physical form, and I'm really, really happy with the way it came out. And it's gaining some energy. Like people are starting to buy it and start to read it, and I really want to hear some feedback on what everybody thinks about it.
And you guys can find that on Amazon.
Yes,
Look up
indeed.
Rising Sun Reruns or Jim Beard, and
Yes.
you can see all the great books Jim already has up there besides Rising Sun Reruns. There's stuff about Dark Shadows
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
other.
Yeah, this is the third in a series of memories. The first one's about G.I. Joe, growing up with G.I. Joe. The second one's about growing up with Dark Shadows, and then this is growing up with Japanese TV shows.
So yeah, please guys go take a look. There's some great stuff out there with Jim's name on it. So
arigato.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into, because we've got a lot to cover tonight. We have
Do we or do we not?
yeah, and we're going to start with what I felt was maybe the slowest one, the one that may be the easiest to get through because it didn't feel like a lot happened in it, which is, of course, Star Wars Andor, the 5th episode. And it's weird saying the 5th episode because we got 3 episodes and then one.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. And that's the first time I've seen any show drop 3 episodes.
Yeah.
But
I think everybody pretty much agrees that those 3 really did need to drop at the same time. Very, very much so.
And I'm wondering if they're doing them in 3-part arcs. Like the first 3 were together, and then we're building up towards the heist, which looks like it's going to be this next week.
Yeah.
and then maybe we move on to something different for 3, and I think
Yeah.
that would be actually a pretty good format.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked all the stuff with Cassian
Mhm.
very much. I thought there was some really necessary character building stuff there, and the way he's going to interact with that group. I didn't care for the Mon Mothma stuff. That was kind of disappointing to me. And also with what's the name of the corporate guy that has to go back to his mother? What's his name?
Sylar.
Sylar. Okay. I was disappointed with that, and it really came down to this for both the parts, those parts, Dan, which was too much family drama. Like I was kind of bored with like Mon Mothma's the stereotypical husband who doesn't care about anything, and the sort of belligerent daughter, child. Like
Yeah.
honestly, to me, that was sort of a big so what. Like I was so happy about Mon Mothma coming into the show. I really liked the introduction to her, and then we just get a bunch of this kind of stereotypical family stuff that just kind of bored me.
Yeah.
Uh,
His name is Cyril Karn.
Cyril.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
was thinking Sylar because his last name is actually Solar. So
Okay.
his real last name, Kyle Solar.
Okay. Okay.
But
The
yeah,
only thing that I think interesting out of the Mon Mothma and their family thing is she she will have to be parted with those two characters to because we know that she goes all over to the rebellion at some point. She has to leave her life behind. Now,
yeah,
with the husband, so what? She
yeah,
doesn't seem to be in love with him anymore anyway, or her or he with him. What it might be possibly interesting is what happens to the daughter. And there's only a couple things that could happen. That she is a deadbeat mom and leaves the daughter behind, or she takes the daughter with her and puts her into a really bad, dangerous position running around with the rebellion,
yeah,
or most horrible of all, the daughter character dies. But right now, it's like I don't give a damn. I don't want to be around this bratty child anymore. Thank you very much.
yeah. I like the title of the episode, "The Axe Forgets," because of what
Yeah, yeah,
Nick says about how the tree remembers every blow, but the axe forgets.
yeah. I liked everything about that. The interaction between that character and Cassian.
Yep, forcing him to admit that he's there for the money and everything
Mhm.
else.
Yeah.
And it's funny, we seem to be learning a lot about Nimic and Skeen. Skeen being the one that pushed him, Nimic being the younger one with the gadgets and stuff.
Yeah. You mean
And
you mean the one that has a target on his head and will most likely not make it out of this?
yeah, I think those two, it's questionable if either of them going to make it. Where the other guys, it's like, Cinta and Vel and
Mm-hmm.
Tamarin. And it's like, we really don't learn much about those guys. So if they die, we're not going to care.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
Lieutenant Gorn. So,
I
yeah,
mean, I think they were still holding up the tension of Cassian and the rest of them, and I appreciated that, and that we got more of what the Empire is doing on that planet.
yeah,
But yeah, it was kind of when you add everything all up. I mean, coming off of that previous episode, it was kind of lackluster. Not bad. I don't see how this show could ever be bad.
oh no, it's a good
It just
show, but
wouldn't hold
we
up.
could have used more Luthen, a little more
Mm.
Stellan Skarsgård. It does. I know a lot of people have said they wonder if Cyril is going to end up a rebel, but I think he's going to end up teaming up with the Dedra, the blonde Imperial officer who's looking into the random thefts.
No, my opinion all along has been that he becomes part of the rebellion. He's
Uh,
already got uh, a hatred for the Empire. He lost his job because of. Well, because of his own stupidity too, but I mean, he's responsible for the Empire now taking permanent control of that corporate
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
you
I
know.
still think Dedra is going to eventually look into the theft, and because he seems obsessed with Cassian.
I totally misunderstood something. I'm watching all that stuff with Deidre or whatever her character is, and I thought it was is that she is stumbling upon the movement of materials to make the Death Star.
No, she's looking at theft, and
Okay.
she thinks she's seen the start of a rebellion.
Okay. I was kind of more interested when I thought that it was that she, because the Death Star is a completely secret thing, and they are moving things around without most people in the Empire knowing what's going on. I thought it would be really interesting if she stumbled upon that.
I agree that would be an interesting plot, but I don't think that's where they're going.
Okay, okay. All right.
I
I
think,
I see now what you're saying, and I see, yeah, I guess that's what it is.
yeah, I think they're going to stick with the rebellion and not
Okay. Okay.
stray too far off. But
Okay.
so, anything really jump out at you about the episode?
Only those moments of disappointment. I mean, even the Luthen stuff was like family drama. I guess it was all supposed to be family drama. I mean, even the Cassian stuff, that group is sort of
Yeah,
a dysfunctional family, but at least that was interesting. But the other things, with who is the woman with Luthen to him? Who is she to him?
I thought she was an assistant. That's all I
I
could
thought
tell.
so too. Yeah, it's almost like it's his wife or something. But
Yeah, I haven't seen. I think her name is Lita. No, that
okay,
might be the daughter.
okay,
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
okay. It wasn't very. It was disconcerting to see our Stellan Skarsgård's character in a more vulnerable moment. I know that makes him more well-rounded or human, but it wasn't necessarily what I wanted to see. He seemed very weak at that moment, and I really wanted him to say, "Pull up your pants, Mister, and get on with it." He seemed like he was Mr. Tough Guy, and now he's like wringing his hands in worry. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll find out more next week. We've still got lots of episodes on this one. We're only 5 in. There's another
Yeah.
7 to go.
I have all confidence that it's just going to be, go on to even greater episodes, and we're all going to love it at the end and all that.
Oh yeah.
Still love the show. I mean, it's just because of this one thing, whoop-de-doo.
Well, every show has that slow bridge episode, which is what the One Ring had as well, because we had super intense episode 6.
Yeah.
With the firing up of Mount Doom, and
Yeah.
everybody coming together, the Numenor and the Southlanders coming together, and then we just got the fallout in this episode, and
Right.
it felt like nothing happened, but I know a lot of important stuff happened.
Right.
Adar ends up changing the name to Southlands to Mordor.
Yeah, that was a really kind of a fun little way that they showed that, to have the let's say the Southlands, and then that disappears, and then it says Mordor, as if we didn't know that's what it was going to be called.
Yeah. I did find one thing interesting, is that they mention Galadriel's husband.
Yes.
Celeborn.
And that he's dead.
Yeah, because he's alive in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe he's missing?
My first true thought was she only thinks that he's dead. That would be kind of a big departure, and I don't know why they would choose that if it really is that he's dead. But that's going to, not that I'm overly worried about the Tolkien purists, but that's really going to piss, I haven't watched my Easter egg videos or my breakdowns by Nerd of the Ring, so I don't know yet. I haven't tapped into whether or not the purists are howling. I literally watched my shows and went to New York, like minutes later. So I haven't really been looking into that. But yeah, I'm so glad that they finally mentioned it. I thought they were just going to dispense with that altogether.
Yeah.
And say that they, or just not even mention it. But that was
an open marriage. No big deal.
Yeah. I mean, they have already said that, they already have a character saying he killed Sauron or thinks he killed Sauron. Andor,
right.
said that. So, I mean, it's all about perception, I guess. But that was a really, really interesting moment. I love the whole thing where she wakes up with the ash and everything all over, and everybody just coming off of what they think was a rousing success and just literally having a volcano appear before their eyes. And they're just totally defeated.
That show was a roller coaster, episode 6. Mm-hmm. It's like, yay, we won. No, we didn't. Oh, wait, now we won. No, we didn't. Oh, my God. Oh, no. Mm-hmm. But,
so what do you think the deal is with Isildur?
I think he's alive.
Yeah. No, he's got to be.
Yeah.
He's got to be alive, but it makes me wonder where he is,
Oh, I think he's just buried and the horse is going to rescue him.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we need to show that bond between the horse and the rider.
And his friend died. And it's been pointed out that's the friend whose name is the name of Isildur's future son. So everybody thought, oh, this character is going to have to die, and that's why Isildur names his son after that character.
Yeah, so we know Isildur can't be dead. We know Celeborn can't be dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was interesting. They really, really, really want us to think the stranger's Gandalf.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much everything but him having a sign around his neck that says, kiss me, I'm Gandalf, or something like that.
Yeah. Do you want to see fireworks? So I'm still not convinced he is Gandalf.
Yeah.
But they're leaning heavily on that.
Yeah.
And we get the 3 mystics this time, who are kind of not nice people.
No. I would say no. Like burning everything of the Harfoots? No. Not nice.
So, though we did get our mini fellowship at the end there with Saffron, the mom, and then Perry and Nori.
Right.
Okay.
Poppy. Poppy? Yeah, Poppy.
Right,
and
Poppy and Nori.
Yeah.
So we've got, we have to go find the stranger. Did we do this once?
I think it's a good move because maybe the Harfoot stuff is played out a little bit, like with the bigger group of them,
Yeah.
Maybe it can be more interesting with just a little group of them, and that they're going off into strange territory, and who knows where. Well, oh no, they pointed the Istari, the wizard, the stranger. They pointed him toward I loved it because they said the name of the forest. Shoot. And I think that's what becomes Mirkwood, maybe.
Yes. I know it becomes Mirkwood. I don't remember what the name of it is, but it does become Mirkwood.
Yeah, it was interesting that they pointed him in that direction because they said there were big folk settlements that way, and that he should be with the big folk. And then, of course, whatever he did, it just took a little time, and all that stuff grew. But then it doesn't matter because those idiots burned everything.
Yeah,
just out of spite,
Yeah. I mean, sure, they have bad haircuts, but they don't have to take that out on everybody.
Is the main one male or female? It's a guy, isn't it?
Who knows?
When we first saw the photo of it, or them, I thought it was going to be a guy, and then it's sort of going back and forth. I don't know.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
So,
And they're specifically looking for Meteor Man.
yeah.
Now, were they sent by someone to find him, or are they just doing that on their own because they're nasty people?
Well, there's always talk in the books about Sauron having these followers.
Mm-hmm.
So they might be the followers of Sauron.
Yeah.
They might be the followers of Morgoth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just left over Morgoth.
Yeah.
Have to pronounce the O. Morgoth.
Morgoth.
Yes. But I think next episode being the finale.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be something big.
Yeah.
You know, and I think we'll find out what happens to Isildur.
It's got to be big. I mean, and how can they top the creation of Mount Doom? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's just going to be too soon for one of the first rings to be forged, but that's a possibility. They could show that forge of Celebrimbor's is done.
True.
And that maybe one of the first elven rings is forged.
Nope.
I don't think it's going to be a reveal of Sauron. I think it's too soon for that. I don't,
Yeah, I even think it was a little too soon to show the Balrog.
Oh, I totally agree with that. It was interesting, but no.
The leaf just bursting into flames would have been enough.
Yeah, definitely. I can only imagine it's going to be our Meteor Man at the very end, whispering Gandalf, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't know how they're going to top Mount Doom with a last scene of the season.
Yeah, because I don't see them really wrapping anything up because there's still 5 seasons to come. So
no, the Elrond thing is kind of at a stopping point. He's gone back, and the dwarves are pretty much right back where they started from. The idiot king doesn't want to do anything and closes that.
But is he an idiot? Because look what happens when they do it.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that, so he's a jerk. Yes. I'm sorry. He is a jerk. He gives some lip service about, his relationship with his son and everything, but he's not, I don't know. He's not really trusting his son. I think he's really coming off as a jerk.
I think if there's going to be, I think King Durin is going to die.
Mm-hmm.
And younger Durin's going to have to take over.
Yeah.
I think Galadriel and Halbrand are going to get to Numenor or wherever the city they go, and Gil-galad is going to have to agree to fight.
Yeah.
And I think we're just going to get prepped. So, because I mean, even when the movies were out, we didn't get satisfactory endings.
No, and it's just like the books. I mean, Fellowship of the Ring is a real downer at the end. They all get separated.
Yep.
And nobody can tell what the future will hold. No, that's a really downbeat way of ending it. So yeah, maybe that is the way. There was something else I just thought of that was said or done in that episode, and I wanted to bring up. I can't think of it now. What did you think about Muriel going blind?
I have a feeling it's a temporary blindness,
mm-hmm.
but I find it interesting, especially since she's a seer.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, they may leave her blind, but I know they don't. It's not ever mentioned in the Tolkien books.
Yeah.
So
So the Numenorians, that's kind of at an end or something of an ending right now. They're getting ready to go back.
All but a garrison. There's a garrison being left behind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and they are going to go to Bronwyn and that group are going to a Numenor settlement called Lindor.
Yes, or Linden.
Linden.
Yeah, I think that's another one of the elf enclaves or whatever.
So, all right, let's go ahead and wrap that up there because,
Okay.
like I said, we got a lot to talk about. But
Yeah.
I have a feeling we'll have more to talk about next week during the finale.
Oh
Just
yeah.
like we'll have the finale of She-Hulk to talk about next week. Before we jump on to our next thing, another show that I watched last night, and it's a relatively new show. It's on Amazon Prime, and this is really for people that like murder mysteries, like Agatha Christie or Knives Out or Nero Wolf and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I came across one on Prime that I believe is an actual Spanish language murder mystery called A Private Affair. And but yeah, country of origin is Spain, but it's dubbed, and it's dubbed really well. So as long as you don't watch people's mouths, it just rolls.
Okay.
And I think the lead actress's name is Aura Garado, but she's running around. She's the daughter of a police detective or the police commissioner who has died. Her brother is now the police commissioner, but she can't be on the force because it's the 1940s or it's supposed to be the 1940s, but the car they drive around is a 1952 Hudson. But she's not allowed to be on the force because there are no female cops.
Yeah.
And both of them were raised by their father to solve mysteries. He'd set up little mysteries for them at the house and using their toys and stuff and quiz them on it. So she's really fascinated by this and wants to do it and ends up bringing the butler in with her. So the butler is running around with her, and the butler is Jean Reno.
No.
And he's great.
Does the butler do it?
Don't know. I've watched one episode so far.
Okay.
In the season. And she gets on the trail of a serial killer who cuts a fleur-de-lis into the chest of his victims. So it's a little intense, but at the same time, it's really fun. So if you're looking for a completely different type of murder mystery that isn't the standard Sherlock and Watson or Nero and Jimmy or Sam Spade or Miss Marple, it's a new one. And I've always thought that basically we had those four style of detectives. You know?
Yeah.
Assuming and this is a unique one.
And it's on what platform?
Amazon Prime.
Oh.
So if you're watching
Amazon Prime.
yeah. Definitely check out at least the first episodes, It's a good first episode, and it packs a lot into the first episode.
Alrighty.
Yeah, it feels very long. But like it's got
a lot
that
time period, so that's very attractive to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So all right, let's go ahead and jump to She-Hulk.
You said jump. You should have said leap.
I should have said leap. So ribbit and rip it.
Ribbit and rip it. God. They besmirch the name of Leapfrog in this episode, right? Come on. He didn't deserve this to being tarred with that brush.
Now I gotta leap ahead here and say one of the funniest things they've done in this entire series is Daredevil's walk of shame. And he's got his boots in his hands. That's the best part.
Why is it? Why is it called a walk of shame?
It's always been called the walk of shame. It's
as far as I can tell, he didn't feel no shame in what he had done.
No, but everybody looks at you like in Game of Thrones, shame.
Okay.
Shame. If they could follow him, they would be doing that.
Now I'm going to play devil's advocate here, or I need to say this. Is there any chance whatsoever that they they went a little too far with the character of Daredevil in this show and maybe made him a little less serious than the character that we've known so far.
You know what?
It's not necessarily my opinion. I just thought I'd bring it up, you know.
I've read the comics where he runs around in a shirt that says "I'm not Daredevil."
Yeah, I know.
And he creates his own twin brother, Mike. So no, from a comic point of view, no.
Okay.
From a TV point of view, from the Netflix series, the tone of the show was always serious, but Matt made jokes.
No, I get that. I was going to say, this is not your Netflix Daredevil.
Yeah, but you know what? It didn't seem out of character to me. And I'm
okay.
You know, Daredevil's my favorite Marvel character. So if it seemed off, I would have been like,
if anything, it was more of the Matt / Daredevil that I think I would have liked to have seen in the Netflix show. Somebody pointed out that he smiles more in that one episode of She-Hulk than he does in the entire however many seasons that they did in 3 or whatever it is Netflix seasons of Daredevil.
But there were moments that he and Foggy joked around.
I know. I didn't necessarily think. I think it was him, walking out in daylight without his boots on, walking away and seeing, the lady down the street or whatever the hell it was. That was, to me, was maybe a little bit too much. And I know how the show is, and of course, but overall though, it was still, I think it was pretty much everything that everybody wanted from that he was kicking ass. We got a hallway scene.
We got a hallway scene, which is very cool.
And you know what? They he and Tatiana had some real chemistry, I think.
Great. Absolutely. I thought through the whole thing, it just felt like there was this vibe going between them. I thought Charlie Cox was great when he comes in, and it really felt like there was this great law stuff again.
Oh yeah. Well, the little the little lawyer battle they of words that they have right off the bat, throwing all the legal stuff back and forth at each other that was great. Then she goes, "Who's this asshole?"
Yes.
That was a really good moment, especially considering what they end up, how they end up by the end of the episode.
Oh yeah. And sending the apple teeny.
Yeah. And the part where she says, she calls his outfit ketchup and mustard.
But I love the fact. See, that's the thing, is that there's been these little things that they've done in the show previously that just kind of felt like they were just silly little things that are just added in, and then they bring them back. Yeah. It's like, did we, Luke Jacobson being an important part of the show, he just seemed like a throwaway to get, her some costumes, and we're bringing Darren, but he's kind of a hinge pin for a lot of these characters.
Yeah.
And
it's interesting that he is known to the public as being a guy who makes costumes for superheroes, because now it's like, no, you can't just tell me that without telling me who he's already made costumes for. Come on. How many other superheroes are running around the MCU that we don't know about?
Yeah. So no, I really liked the episode, but it felt like night and day between that and then her breaking the fourth wall, going, wait, why is this episode still going?
Yeah,
it had a very satisfactory ending. Trust me, and then we get the whole setup for the finale.
Yeah,
with with the intelligentsia finally showing their hand.
Yeah, just brutal, and I think most stunning is her turning savage. To see that can happen to her, I can't guess what this final. It is the final episode next week. Yeah, I can't guess right now what it's going to be. I'm betting it's not going to be very funny
No,
at all.
no.
I think things are going to get real, as the kids say.
Yeah, I think we're going to see like a low level of intelligentsia,
Mm-hmm.
and then she'll take some people in, and we'll get that satisfactory ending, and
Yeah.
then there'll be a teaser for the person really behind the intelligentsia, and it'll probably be like a shadowy
Mm-hmm.
version of the leader.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if they're going to want to show the leader completely here or
Yeah.
save him for Captain America: New World Order. But that's my guess, is that we'll get a
Yeah.
hint at the leader.
Yeah. I hate to kind of say it, but Jen has sort of been setting herself up for a fall. We've gotten it conveyed to us that she was feeling pretty good about herself, and you can't have that in a fiction show. You got, but even that, potentially, that her ego was growing, and you know
Yeah.
um, you have to look at how she was treated when she gets out of the car going into the event, and that she's just a total celebrity, and there's just, after her little rampage there, that's just not gonna fly.
Yeah. I still think we're going to get Mallory Book as Red She-Hulk. I think they kind of hinted that when she said, there's another Hulk, but it's red.
Is
It's
it, yeah. Yeah. I just love it. It's just another one of those things. This was written how long ago and filmed how long ago, and they just predicting everything that we're thinking. They knew,
Yeah.
what we would think, and yeah, I feel totally manipulated by this show. Totally
I think it's
manipulated.
incredible writing. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it gets better and better. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess the critic score on Rotten Tomatoes has climbed. It's up at like 87%.
Yeah, and then I make the mistake of looking at the comments when Rotten Tomatoes posts that on their Facebook page, because then everybody's like, "Yeah, that's just the critics. What about the viewers? It's like 26% or something like that." And it's like, to me, it's like, who the hell cares what the freaking rating is, anyways? You just
Yeah.
watch the show and enjoy it, or not watch the show. That stuff just drives me nuts.
Yeah, I agree. We got Daredevil back. It was cool. We had
Yeah.
a fun episode, and we ended with the setup for the season finale. I thought it was great.
It just like the second to latest episode of Rings of Power. I believe this episode, if it could win a few more people over to the show, it was going to be this one. I
Yeah.
can't imagine that the Daredevil, the people who really wanted Daredevil, I can't imagine that they wouldn't be happy with what we got.
Oh yeah. Jessica Gao, the writer, had this great line. She said, "We had the hallway scene start, and then we had to remind everybody it's still She-Hulk's show."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like, yep, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, we're going to move on to our final show of the day.
You mean there's another show to talk about?
Yes.
Wait, would this show be sort of maybe like the complete opposite of She-Hulk in tone and feel?
Mostly.
Would it be a show that proves that the MCU has many, many corners, and that we can have both comedy and something kind of darker?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, what would the name of this show be?
But like She-Hulk, this show also took an actor from Book of Boba Fett and brought them into the MCU.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's right. Where David Pasquet came from being the Twi'lek Major Domo in Book of Boba Fett to being Mr. Immortal in She-Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie Jones, who portrayed Black Chrysanthemum in Book of Boba Fett, shows up as Ted.
I would never have thought there was anything physically on the set. of Ted.
Most of what they did was practical, from what I understand,
Wow.
because Michael Giacchino, who is normally a composer,
Mm-hmm.
he's an award-winning composer and has done a couple short things. This counts as his film debut because it's long enough to count as a film to like the Academy.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is his length, or because it's not a short, it's a film.
Yeah.
And this is, he went in and was talking to Kevin Feige about directing something, and he said, "What do you want to direct?" And he says, "Well, I want to direct Werewolf by Night." And Feige's like, "No, really?" He's like, "No, really." And he just says how he wanted to do it as kind of an homage to the old horror movies,
Mm-hmm.
and do it in black and white. And Feige was like, "Go on."
Wow.
And
Wow. If you can impress Kevin Feige and get a project out of him, whew.
and I thought this was absolutely spectacular. I love
was way more than I expected or thought. I knew I was going to enjoy it, and especially because it's in black and white. I could totally see what they were trying to do just from the trailer.
Yeah.
And what a cool thing this is.
Though the way they cut the trailer felt a little more Grindhouse, and this didn't feel as Grindhouse.
Yeah.
But I won't knock them for that, because I liked what I preferred going with the old Universal monster movie feel.
Yeah. So this was what, a little over an hour? Is that right?
56 minutes.
Oh, it's 56 minutes. What we got in that 56 minutes is really something. All these characters, but all interesting characters, and action, and some comedy, which is very cool. And I want to go back to that world like real soon, like, please.
Yep.
And they're talking about whether or not there could be another story with the character. It's like, what are you talking about? You need to get that right on the schedule.
Yeah.
Or do more. Can next October we please have
I'm for a Werewolf by Night Halloween special every year.
Yeah, we want the Living Mummy. We want the Frankenstein monster. We want Ted back. We want Satana. Come on.
No, just call the show Jack and Ted. We'd be fine with it.
Jack and Ted.
You
know what? I hate it when they reduce the credits at the end, like you can't read it. And I didn't have time to do it before I went away for the weekend, but I really wanted to read if they give names to the characters.
Yeah, they do.
Do they say Jack Russell?
I believe so. Let's see.
Okay.
Let me pull it up real quick. By the way, Gael Garcia Bernal, the guy who played Jack Russell, excellent, just excellent. But I'm used to him playing a very different role, because I watched him in a couple seasons of Mozart in the Jungle, where he plays a composer. So I find it hilarious that Michael Giacchino, who's a composer directing, cast an actor who's probably best known for playing a composer.
There's some synchronicity there, right?
Yep. So
design.
He's known as Jack Russell. Laura Donnelly is known as Elsa Bloodstone.
Yeah, and that's great that they brought that character into it, and with the the stone itself.
Yep. Kerry Jones, of course, was Ted the Man-Thing.
Yeah. It actually is billed as Ted the Man-Thing?
It's Ted, and then in parentheses, Man-Thing.
Okay.
At least this is according to IMDb, and usually once it comes out, people go through and they, mix it up. There's even one guy, David Silverman, is credited as the Flaming Tuba.
Okay.
The guy that
I'm
walked out in front of him.
I'm
Yeah,
looking to see if any of the other hunters are actual Marvel characters.
they're not. They're not. The names are Verussa, Jovan, Azeril, Lorne, and Barrasso.
Hmm. Okay. I'm not terribly disappointed, but I'm wondering if I hate to say it, I'm not really up on the names of other Monster Hunter characters. That would be like Ulysses Bloodstone.
Yeah, and you don't want to waste a good monster hunter.
I get, yeah, I get, yes, I get what you're saying. And as far as I know, I don't remember Elsa having an evil stepmother. What was her character's name?
Verussa.
Verussa. Okay.
Mhm. You
Bo-
know who she reminded me of?
hmm.
Cloris Leachman's character in Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, yeah, yes,
When she leans in and says, and basically about Ulysses being a great lover. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't think we needed that.
Who? Well, yeah, and Elsa when she makes that face, like oh, yeah. Who is that actress?
Who played Verussa is Harriet Sansom Harris.
Okay, what has she recently been in because I kept saying, wait, what is she from? What is she from? I know this woman. Who is she from? What is
Uh,
she from?
Atlantic Crossing. She was in Licorice Pizza, if you saw that.
Hmm. No.
Uh, she was in American Horror Story. In
That's it. That's
okay,
where
yeah,
that's
she was
where I
also
know her
in
from.
Wilfred, if you watch that.
Yeah, no, it's American Horror Story. That's where I knew her from. I kept saying like, oh wait, I know this woman. Hmm.
Yeah, no, I thought they did a great job with casting, and it
Yep.
really did feel like a cross between Universal monster movies and a Hammer
Hammer.
horror
Yeah,
movie.
definitely.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
and I
and then
loved.
with some Grindhouse in there, right?
Yep, I
Yeah.
absolutely loved it. I loved Jack's reaction when he first comes across Ted, and it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and her reaction when she comes up to him and goes, "Ted," and you see the monster go, "Hmm?"
Now, the purist in me, I was maybe this much a little bothered because the original True Man Thing character could not communicate in any way. He was attracted by strong emotions, but he didn't have the ability to understand English being said to him, and he certainly couldn't communicate in it like to other people. I let it slide mostly because the look was just dead on,
Oh yeah,
just dead on, and that they say he's Ted, which that really blew me away. I didn't expect that we were going to get him called Man Thing, but I mean maybe someday they'll say that, but that he's Ted that was really nice,
yeah,
really really nice to do.
yeah. I really liked how they put this together. I thought that was
Yeah.
great. I loved the bit with the bomb not sticking to the wall.
Yeah, yeah.
It's you know, but
Oh, oh, you know what? I also appreciated was the design of the werewolf. Now, we don't get to see it very clearly, but I was really hoping that they could at least try to somewhat make it like how the character is in the comics, or at least in the early days.
yeah,
Because one thing, like I'm such a huge fan of Lon Chaney Jr.'s Wolfman that all other werewolf characters in shows and movies and everything they're too wolf-like. I like Lon because his face is still fairly flat. He doesn't have a snout. I
yeah,
don't like werewolves with a snout. And I kept thinking, oh, they're probably, most modern werewolves and stuff are like that. There's no way that they're not going to do that. But it's not. He does not have a snout. That's more like how the character was drawn by like Mike Plug, in the
exactly.
beginning. Yeah.
If you want to get a good look at the character, they already had him pop up at Avengers Campus at Disney
I
California.
saw that photo. Yeah. I saw that photo that somebody put that up. Yeah, that was really interesting. Like, well, there goes the mystique with that. Because I thought I thought they were going to keep it, where we weren't seeing it clearly. And I thought probably right towards the end, we're going to get a fairly good shot of it, but they don't really. Even when he's on her, it's so tight in that you start to get a sense of it. But again, I'm so glad of the design. And the funny thing is in some ways they emulated the Lon Chaney Wolfman, because the Lon Chaney Wolfman was made at a time where he could not rip people to shreds. It was the 1940s. Strangely enough, that Wolfman strangles people. He tends to want to strangle people, which is a weird thing for a guy with claws. Like, why is he wasting his time strangling people? Well, so this Jack Russell werewolf he keeps throwing people. And I thought that was kind of a nod to the Lon Chaney Wolfman. It's like, why isn't he ripping people apart? This is 2022, He tends to be throwing people more than anything.
I only came out of it with one question. One question.
Yeah.
And that is, when we meet Jack, he's got that face paint on.
Yeah.
And they point that out.
Yeah.
And then when Verusa's going through the number of kills, says that Jack has 100 kills. Now, they never say a name. And he has the medallion that shows that he's one of the hunters. So did he kill one of the hunters, take the medallion and his guys? Or is Jack really considered one of the hunters because he did stop monsters in his series?
You are right. And it is confusing because she doesn't know what he is. But when she first said that, I assumed that she did. And she was being a little cheeky because, that's how many he's killed as the werewolf. But we find out later that she says, let's see what kind of a monster you are.
Yep.
So, Dan, I really think, now that it's that he killed the guy that really was supposed to have that medallion, if that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And he took the place of him at that party or whatever you want to call it so he could rescue Ted.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that or if he actually has killed that many.
Yeah.
In the comics, he does stop monsters who are hurting people.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the funny thing is he sees the bust or whatever of a, like, I guess it's a vampire bat thing or whatever, and he goes, oh yeah, that guy, I fought him before. And I think that's kind of a nod to the Werewolf by Night did fight Dracula back in the 70s. I don't know if he fought him again or whatever, but there's so many fun nods through that thing. The other thing is that I wasn't really clear what was going on with his face when it first started. I thought, wow, does he have like scars or wrinkles in his face? And then when the guy says about the face paint or the makeup, he says it's to honor my people. And then it started to become more clear that he was doing Day of the Dead, the skull type of thing. And then I thought, wow, that's like really interesting. That they took Jack Russell and obviously because of the actor, they made him an Hispanic character.
And then there's a newer, I don't remember the name, but there's a newer character, Werewolf by Night, who is Hispanic descent or descent.
I was almost going to say he was Native American, but I think you're right. You're right. They kind of combined that character and Jack to make this the comic book Jack Russell. They kind of combined. That's what I was kind of thinking too. Yeah, and I was, you know what? They totally sold me on it. Totally. I'm so glad that he was Jack, though.
Yeah,
Jack Russell.
yeah,
And I know there's some comedy in that name, but
yeah,
I'm so glad he was Jack.
yeah. I don't want them to jump too far. Like with Nova, I want Nova to be Richard Rider, not
Yeah.
the new kid.
Mm-mm.
So
No.
Andrew points out that when she says 100 kills, Jack goes more or less.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm sure that he took over the spot.
Yeah,
That's because Veruca or Varuna or whatever her name was, she does not know what he is in the beginning.
yeah.
But she certainly finds out.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, but I think it's still possible that maybe he was the hunter. So
Okay.
I don't know. Either way, I don't think they made that clear.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one question that I have coming out of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we need to wrap that up there. That was a quick hour.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, when you have that much good stuff to talk about,
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was a fun week. Next week should also be fun with the season finales of Rings of Power and She-Hulk, and of course another Andor. And we'll get back with it next Sunday. So,
all righty.
Joining us in, Jim. Glad you had a good trip to New York.
Thank you.
So, and remember to check out Rising Sun reruns on Amazon. And we'll see you all.